Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be talking about York Schulich. We're going to cover their academics, we're going to cover their admission process, we're going to cover the student life, and we're going to cover funding as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and drop a like. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off with career opportunities, York Schulich is a business school and it has a heavy focus on employment, and they definitely have the numbers to back it up. So 93% of all students receive a full-time employment offer within 6 months of graduation, and then the starting salary is $61,000. And some of the most popular industries that graduates go into include accounting, finance, and operations slash HR slash management. Let's talk a little bit about exchanges. If you do want to go to exchange, York Schulich does have a very good exchange program, and this is a full-term exchange program offered to third and fourth years. And there are a little bit of a criterion application process because it's so popular. So you need a cumulative GPA of 5.5. This is just specific to York Schulich students. I know this might sound crazy, a 5.5 GPA, but it just works a little bit different over there. And you also need an intermediate language competency score of a C or higher at York Schulich, and then you'd also need an online application, and here are the following steps. So first you need to have a list of courses that you're interested in, the top 3 schools that you want to do an exchange at, so it definitely shows like a little bit of interest and you've done some background research. You also need to propose a budget of living expenses and tuition costs, etc. You also need to drop in your resume. I think this is pretty, understandable. And you also, the last 2 requirements are optional, but definitely recommend you submit it if you're looking to do an exchange. And this is a language referee form and a creative optional submission. This can be a video, a poster, anything you would like that relates to an exchange. So talking a little bit about York Schulich courses and classes, one of the good things about the program is that it's direct entry into business. So if you're coming from high school and you know that you want to do business, you can get into business and take the courses right away starting from your first year. Another great benefit of York Schulich is that it's definitely a more tighter and close-knit community. So some of these classes literally range from 25 people to 55 people, which blows my mind. But in the first year, the range is probably going to go to a little bit of the higher end just because there are a lot of mandatory required courses that everyone kind of needs to take. Alright, let's take a look at admissions and how to apply to York Schulich and a little bit of tips to help you get into the school if this is your dream school or one of the choices that you want to apply to. So York Schulich does a look at your top 6 grade 12 courses, and they have 3 required courses. So that's going to be English, a calculus, and another math course. So obviously this varies differently from depending on where you are. So in British Columbia, this would look like English, calculus, and pre-calculus, and in Ontario, this would be like the advanced function equivalent. In addition to just only grades, York Schulich does really care about a supplemental application to make sure that they're building leaders in business. So this comes with a little bit of a hefty application, and you do need to fill out something called a leadership profile. So you have to list out 5 different activities that you've done from high school, write a 1,000 character description about it, and you also need to drop in a contact information of a referral or like a reference. Let's go through some quick stats for York Schulich. So the admission average is around 92%, and then the acceptance rate is a 6 to 7%. So definitely a very high averaging and competitive program with a lower acceptance rate. Talking a little bit about student life, starting off with residences. So if you're out of province, this is probably most likely where you're going to stay, and if you're in province, you can either make the commute or you can also choose to have a residence life. So they do have a wide range of kind of options you can choose from, starting with like the traditional dorms, which is single or double room. So this is just the dorms that you kind of see in the movies, shared washrooms, and just a little bit smaller, just kind of like a room and a desk. And you also can have a suite style. So this is kind of like a more suite style. You can imagine a suite with multiple kids living in it as well. The other option outside of residence is university-owned apartments. They also sponsor and give those and allocate it to students as well. So talking about meal plan, so the meal plan is mandatory if you're living in residence, and you can choose from a different kind of style of meal plan depending on how much you kind of eat. So they can go offer you a bronze, silver, gold, or platinum, and they give you what they call meal plan dollars, so they call it MP and MP plus. So MP plus you can spend kind of like anywhere that accepts a meal plan card, and MP is kind of very specific to certain dining halls that are either in your residence or very close to your residence. So that's very limited. So talking a little about social life, so York kind of praises itself to being a more close-knit community, and you'll definitely be super close-knit, especially with Schulich students, just because there's so little, and it's quite a competitive program to get into. So you definitely get to know around, who's in Schulich and who's kind of studying the same, taking the same classes, or even pursuing the same career as well. But with that said, they have praised them for having like 1,000 different events that they say in a close-knit 9 college system. And they also have a residence life style dons. And you can always, if you didn't have enough social life in the residence or the university itself, you can always just transit down to downtown Toronto to go to Eaton Center or try out different restaurants there as well. So the library that's most popular is called the Scott Library, and this is open every single day of the week, and for most days is open from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. So for clubs, York has over 300 plus clubs, but for Schulich itself, I do want to just talk about a few clubs that are very popular amongst campus. So the business law club is very popular, and Apex is also very popular. So business law, I think it's quite intuitive in name, business and law, some kind of combination of both. But Apex is super cool. It's kind of combining STEM and business together, so having kind of a more startup feeling and combining the two together to see if you can innovate and also use the business skills to bring that project or idea to life. All right, let's talk about the last topic is about funding. So starting off with tuition. So tuition for York Schulich is $10,600 for a domestic student and around $24,000 for an international student. So next thing, scholarships. So York Schulich offers automatic entrance scholarships depending on your grade average. So this really just depends on your grade average, and you don't need to do anything. But the best resource here, it's way better if you guys just check this out than me just literally just telling you everything on it. But they have this awards explorer. I'm gonna just drop the link in bio. I highly recommend you guys check this out. They just list of different types of scholarships that you can apply to, either entrance or when you actually arrive and study at the university. Different companies that just have scholarships only exclusive to Schulich students, such as Canaccord Genuity or even KPMG. The last thing I want to talk about is financial aid. So York does offer a work/study and bursary application, and this is just done through filling out a student student profile, and then York Schulich will get back to you to see if you guys qualify or are eligible for any aid. Alright, that wraps up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I just make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have 3 minutes, just make sure you check out the link I dropped in below. It's a 3-minute quiz on to see if you're eligible to any scholarship help from GrantMe or any admission support for writing essays or supplemental applications or helping out with your school in general to increase your chances to get into your dream school. So with that said, GrantMe is out, and we'll hope to see you guys next time.